much, Matthew, some of the readers and some of the contributors to Revival 17, kicking off with Kieran O'Grifa.
Good evening. Poem Cross of Lorraine is my thoughts on Joan of Arc, and the title Cross of Lorraine refers to her symbol, which is a single cross with two horizontal bars. Cross of Lorraine. I began having sympathy for those who fought for liberation. Joan of Arc, visionary and distracted, I feel for you. Young girl, not knowing where to turn. In the end, I vouch, you would have given so much to turn your horse homeward to an understanding smile, silent and kindly intended. Yeah, that would have gone a long way like honey bun. But liberation, they cried, and demanded your leadership. Poor girl, and how the visions hurt. So fitting, in the end, your symbol, the double cross. When they lit the fires about you, how they jeered. The throng has fluid freedom. You had just a prayer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kieran. And now we have Anthony Smith.
The poem is called Sabra Shatila, 1982. Some of you will recognize the reference when Menachem Begin was Prime Minister of Israel. The Israeli army was in occupation of Beirut in Lebanon. And when the Christian soldiers of the Lebanese movement called the Phalangists invaded the refugee camps and murdered hundreds, some say thousands, of Palestinian men, women and children and little babies of 3. The Israeli army not only allowed them to do it, but helped with transportation and flares sent up at night so that the slaughter would not be inconvenienced by nightfall. A commission led by Sean McBride demanded the resignation of the Israeli Chief of Defense Staff, Ariel Sharon. He refused to resign. Eventually he did, but the Israelis made it up to him by making him Prime Minister. No one else was punished for a war crime that is a wound in history. In the 28 years since, just about nothing has happened to heal it. Sabra Shatila. We could not know what they would do, he said, speaking of the Christians in Beirut. Begin won his vote in the Knesset, there will be no inquiry. What shall it profit a man to inquire? Better the corpses be counted as dead and buried under the hatching sand. A politician cannot take the view revealed to Christian soldiers. History a black hole, future fused with past, sucking in the gravity of light, onward to the infinitely heavy full stop. What they created in the camps was eternity, each penis stiff with blood, and ears shrilling to Pope Urban's trumpets. God's blessing shall be unto them who know God's blessing shall be unto them. Begin said he could not know what they would do. A Jew cannot define the will of Jesus. The Christian soldiers wash their hands across the maps of Palestine, of Israel. What beast, rougher with feeding, slouches now to scratch the flowering corpses from the sands of Kiryat Shemona, Kibbutz Shamir, Marlot. Thank you.
Anthony Smith. Now we have Maureen Curran.
I'll avoid the drooping thing. This is a deer on Leroy. We meet ourselves on the road, versions of ourselves at least, in a car we once drove, the same rush we used to be in, full headlong into the turns that took us from Milford and Ardra and set us in one place. After 12 winters, we are driving home from your father's wake. I watch you sidelong, reading your face in the orange dashlight. Then, just beyond your window, he's there, fractional in the shadows. I say, "Dear, did you see him, John? He was beautiful." But tired eyes on the road ahead, you'd missed him. We feel his company later when we read Memory of My Father, fished out of an old schoolbook because it was whispering itself all day. You shut the book suddenly, that's enough of that. Like a smile beguiles a gag reflex, the slap of the book cover dissolves the lump in your throat. In our darkened bedroom, you tell me again about the time your dad and you were driving home and you met a deer on Minaroy. That deer, that night, anchored the random things, faith, fear, and vacancy.
Maureen told me before the show that was her first published poem. Let's hope it's the first of many. Maureen Curran. And now a regular practitioner to these hallowed halls, Mr. Louis Mulcahy.
The rusting life of a horseshoe. Look here at this horseshoe. What a fine wrought curve. It looks good. It feels just right. Its weight just fits its shape. Have you ever cast one towards a stake, heard its ringing sound, or laid it to a stable wall, bent, abraded, old, its iron browned by rust? I'm near that stable wall, soon to be nailed up, looking back at my beginning, the metal of my soul, fashioned by my father to his blacksmith father's shape.
Thank you very much, Louis. Noel King.
Thanks. So short I don't even need my glasses. It's on page 40. Flowers for an old lady. I've got a summer job picking daffodils. I stole a bunch for you. Do you remember what they look like? I hope you like them. Can smell them. Don't mind that they're hot.